The Joe Rogan Experience.
You don't look like no Tyson at 58, though,
No,
right?
no, he was much slower. But George was always kind of slow. He just has thunderous power. He was never like a real fast guy like Ali or any of those other guys. He was just thunderous, ridiculous power. George was just terrifying.
And I don't know the ins and outs of boxing, but is this Logan Paul? Is he a legitimate boxer?
A legitimate boxer, yes. People mocked me when I was saying that before, but now I think people are coming around. And the way I look at it, I say if this kid was not a YouTuber, if he wasn't some guy that you knew from the time he was like 16 years old on YouTube, and you just saw him box, and you saw him knock out former UFC champions, you saw him beat legitimate boxers, or beat athletes, and beat a bunch of MMA fighters, you'd go, this kid can fucking fight. He knows how to fight. Like, it's not, nothing he's doing looks wrong. He's not like sticking his head straight up in the air and winging punches with his eyes closed. He's fighting well. He looks good. And if he was just an up-and-coming boxer that was this exciting, like highly promotable, like really good at selling fights, you'd be like, this kid's the future. He's really something special. And the fact that he's willing to fight Tyson, even if Tyson's 57, just the fact that he's willing to actually take a chance at Mike Tyson not being able to do what he used to do. Because that's what he's doing. The gamble is, like, there's not a fucking chance in hell that Jake Paul would survive against the Mike Tyson that beat Marvis Frazier. You ever watch that fight?
Yeah.
That's my favorite Mike Tyson fight, because that was Mike Tyson before he won the title. It was ABC Wide World of Sports, and Joe Frazier had been talking shit about Tyson, that if he was in his prime, he'd beat Tyson. And so he had his son fight Tyson, and it was an execution. It was an execution.
Is that the one in Atlantic City where it lasted one round?
One round. Let's watch it, because it's one of my favorite fights to watch Tyson, because it's Tyson in his prime where he was fucking terrifying. He was so fast, and he would do angles, and he was bobbing and weaving. You couldn't hit him, and he was just coming at you. And he was young. He was 20 years old at the time. He couldn't be stopped. No one had the solution. And I submit that Mike Tyson, the Mike Tyson that won the title against Trevor Berbick, the Mike Tyson that beat Larry Holmes, I think that Mike Tyson is the best heavyweight of all time. I don't think anybody fucks with him. He didn't maintain that form, and he wound up losing to Buster Douglas. And, you know, I look at fighters when they're in their absolute prime, like what have you ever seen that was better than this? And with Mike Tyson, I've never seen anybody better. I've never seen any fighter, even Ali in his prime, even Ali when he was Cassius Clay. I never saw anybody who looked like Mike Tyson in his prime. I think you can't maintain the kind of focus that was required to be this guy. Marvis looks fucking terrified, and he should be, because he kind of knows. Marvis was a good fighter. Marvis was a good fighter, but this is just a terrifying mismatch. Like, if I was a Vegas odds maker, I would put this at 1,000,000 to 1. I'm like, he has to break his leg, like he has to fall down and twist an ankle, like otherwise so Tyson was 20 and Frazier was 25.
So do you think this is the last we see of a guy like a Tyson? Is there another Tyson out there, or is it?
They can always emerge. Combat sports always. So this is the beginning of the fight. Look, he's just moving forward, and Frazier's just trying to just bob and weave and find his openings. But Mike never gives you any time, man. He never gives you any time. He's always right in front of you, and he's just measuring you. And it's just a matter of time before he catches you. And here it is. Bing! Look at this.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Bro, he just puts him away. Just puts him away. It's an execution. It was just a matter of Mike Tyson closing the distance. This Mike Tyson, as fast as he was, as hard as he hits, I maintain he's the greatest.
Yeah.
The greatest heavyweight ever. Like that Mike Tyson, those fights were, you wanted to see executions. You didn't think anybody was going to beat him. Everybody he fought looked like they were about to die when they were in that ring.
I don't think we see this again, Joe.
You never know. It can happen.
Jake Paul's favorite.
He's a favorite. Yeah. Well, he's 27 years old, and he's a really good boxer. He's a very good boxer. Like, he's a legitimate professional boxer. He fought Tommy Fury, who's also a legitimate professional boxer, a real good one. He's Tyson Fury's younger brother, and he lost a close decision, but it was a good fight, a real good fight against a good fighter. He can fight.
Yeah.
But if that Mike Tyson from Marvis Frazier fought Jake Paul's dead. He's dead. He's not going to make it. So you have to say, how much has Mike Tyson lost from that 20-year-old guy in the 37 years since then, which is crazy. It'll be 38 by the time they fight. He'll have turned 58 by the time they actually fight.
Yeah, but that's the best it gets, right?
The best it gets.
The best it gets. After 37 years, you got to feel like he's lost some, but
he hasn't lost everything. He hasn't lost everything.
Yeah.
If you see him hit those pads,
absolutely,
he has not lost everything.
But he's lost some. But coming from the best, he's now like maybe just normal, right?
He's still not normal, but he's still like a professional heavyweight boxer. He's still terrifying.
No, I'm not saying he's not, but I'm just saying even coming off the best, I still think he wins. Coming off,
it's hard to say because you never bet against a 27-year-old
I get it.
Fighting a 58-year-old.
I just what I have in my brain and I can't get out is that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's also his mind. You know, like Mike Tyson's mind has switched over into war. Like he was doing this interview and someone said to him, he goes, you look like you're in your 20s. Like, what are you doing? He goes, I just eat raw meat. He goes, I'm eating raw meat. He goes, you're eating raw meat? He goes, yeah, I'm eating raw meat. He goes, because that's what I'm going to eat when I fight. I'm going to eat him. It's raw meat.
Yeah, see,
I was like, Jesus Christ. He's in this fucking mode. He's in that God of War mode. And that he's still got that in him. And I'm telling you, if you keep giving that guy hormones and you keep giving that guy supplements and he's constantly training, here's this. Look at this.
What are you eating? Raw meat. Like, seriously, Mike. You're eating raw meat? Are you swallowing it? Or remember you used to spit that stuff out?
I'm going to have to eat it now because my opponent's going to be raw meat.
That's right. Did you look like 20 years old?
Now, I saw the beginning of this interview where he had a shirt on, right?
Yeah.
And he was sweating so much he had to take the
He took his shirt off, and they just put the microphone on his shoulder. Yeah. Bro, he's in savage mode right now. He's in savage mode. If I was Jake Paul right now, I would be shitting my pants.
Oh, bro! If I'm fighting this guy and I see he's eating raw meat, I call the fucking thing off.
It's all the experiences that he has had as a conqueror. You have to take those into consideration. When a man has smashed men before, just smashed men, like when no one can stand in front of him, that is in his mind still. That's in there. There's a dark chamber in his mind that he can open up.
Yeah.
And I think he's got it open. The question is, can his body move along with it? But that part of his mind, like you're clearly seeing, he's terrifying when he's in the zone. I changed the shape of the table because of him. This table was, we had the table that was this size at the old studio, and at the new studio, I was like, maybe we'll make the table smaller. It'll be more intimate. It'll be closer to the guests. So we had Mike Tyson in when he was 300 pounds. And he was just eating and having fun and smoking weed. He goes, I don't even work out. He goes, if I work out, it'll excite myself. It'll excite my ego. And then I don't like that person. So he just decided that he was just going to be chill Mike Tyson. And then he got this offer to fight Roy Jones Jr.
Yeah.
So he gets in insane shape. And the next time I see him, the second podcast we do, Mike now weighs 230 pounds, and he's got these muscles in his forearms. So he's sitting there, and he's a different human. He's so intense that I was like, if this table was closer to him, I would be nervous. Like, I wouldn't be able to do my best job as a podcaster. The reason why this table is this width is the second podcast I did with Mike Tyson. Even Jamie, when Mike left, Jamie's like, that's a different person. It's a totally different person, right?
I was nervous the whole time. I was so glad I was close to the door. Hoping he went for you first.
He was so intense. He was so intense. And that was a fight with Roy Jones Jr., where he just decided, to have one more Legends fight. And he got, like, look at him. Dude, he's just...
What the hell? What do you mean?
You're getting excited.
Raw meat.
Like, seriously, Mike.
Oh, you got both things playing at the same time. Hold on a second. You had animosity towards So when you finally get your hands on them.
Hey, what does it mean when fighting gets you erect? What does that mean?
It's a good question.
Gee.
It means you're getting excited.
Yeah.
So that's going through your mind right now.
Well, that's how I get when I was a kid, and sometimes I get the twinkle.
The twinkle.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is like you reached a state as a human being, as a champion, as a ferocious fighter. You reached a state of ability and of accomplishment that very few humans will.
I don't know if you can hear him breathing.
He's
right there,
breathing.
Yeah.
It's like a lion.
Running. When you're hitting the bag, when that heart's beating again. Because I'm firing him up right right now. You're Mike motherfucking Tyson. So when you're doing all this shit again, you're still Mike Tyson. Those thoughts have got to be burning inside you again. It's got to be pretty wild.
I don't know. It's wild, but I believe it's rightfully so to be that way, and I just know how to. I don't think I mastered it, but I just know how to deal with it. I don't let it overwhelm me.
No. Well, of course not. It's a strange conversation to have because he was like so focused and so intense. You know, it was almost hard pulling conversation out of him.
At any time, did you feel afraid?
I'm always afraid when I'm around that guy. Kevin Hart said it best. He goes, "It's like being in a room with a lion." Like even if the lion is like,
Jamie Foxx's little joke is like someone let a pit bull let loose in the room. They don't know whose it is.
and then Jamie's got to play him in a movie, which has got to be terrifying. Like, don't piss that guy off. I never talk like that. Oh, sorry, sir. I'm curious. I'm gonna watch the fight. We're all gonna watch the fight.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch it. I mean, it's a brilliant move by Jake, because like if he was gonna fight anybody else, people would watch, but would the same amount of people watch? No. This is the one, and this is the one where the old heads are all sitting around like going, well, fucking wait till he gets a hold of Mike Tyson. Boy, he's gonna regret that. And all the old guys are like pulling for him, like, come on, Mike, come on, one more. You got one more in you.
Well, I think we see a different Mike Tyson than we did when he fought Roy Jones, right?
I think the Roy Jones fight, they made an agreement not to punch in the head. I'm pretty sure, because I watched that fight carefully many times. And it never looked like he was targeting Roy's head, which makes sense why Roy agreed to do the fight. Mm-hmm. You know, I think they probably made an agreement. It would be like a real boxing match, but just don't knock me out. Because Roy's a smaller person, much smaller.
Yeah.
Roy was at his very best when he was 168 pounds. And then when he was weighing 175 pounds, he didn't even have to cut weight. He was playing. Roy famously played a basketball game, a full basketball game, the day of his fight.
Wow.
Played a basketball game, and then went and boxed the face off of somebody for 12 rounds.
Wow.
You know, that's how good Roy was in his prime. But Roy was 168 pounds in his prime. He wasn't Mike Tyson's size. Mike Tyson's fucking enormous. He's just a different mass. He's the width, the density. It's terrifying. And if they're older guys, I could imagine them making an agreement. Because if you watch the highlights, Mike never punches him in the face. And even if they do punch each other in the face, it seems like it's just like jabs and small punches. It does, like almost like sparring shots. It's not like anybody's like really like winding up, or really like throwing everything at it.
This fight doesn't have that stipulation?
No, I do not believe that's the case. I think this fight is going to be a real full-bore, 100% fight. It's not even an exhibition. It counts on their professional record, so it's a professional fight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Is it 8 rounds?
I think it's 8 2-minute rounds, but yeah, they changed it to,
They made it 2-minute rounds because Tyson's old. And they were going to do 16-ounce gloves, but they're down to 14, I believe. Is that the case? I think they're 14-ounce gloves, which is not much bigger than a regular glove. Regular glove is 10 ounces in the heavyweight division, 6 ounces in lighter divisions. I think they use 8 in some divisions too. But most like big guys use 10-ounce gloves.